Hello and welcome everybody to your new favorite show. It's called Tea Time with your hosts Teddy Costa and Tyler Trudeau.
Made it look like I'm
Your
also.
your two favorite least favorite retired wash-ups here. We're just gonna spend 10 minutes a week or so breaking down what's coming up and what happened in the previous week, Major League Quadball this summer. We're really excited for this new show, and we hope you will be too. So, without further ado, let's get 10 minutes on the clock. It's time for everybody's favorite time of the week, their Friday tea time. All right, what do we have first? It is time for the results of our very secret coaches poll. So we'll throw those up on the screen right now. Ty, I'm going to start with you. Anything jump out to you about these results?
Well, first, Teddy, I got to hand it to you because you really together, got in touch with all the coaches. So I really appreciate all the legwork you did getting all this information. And the thing that I found the most interesting was I feel like our friends over at Fast Break News and our coaches all kind of seemingly have about the same mindset. Not really too many differing takes from a lot of the coaches. Big love for New York, I'd say. That was definitely the overwhelming take, but I think you and I both agree that this is kind of their title to lose this year's unless something crazy goes down. But no, I would really say that there was not many two surprises for me. Hate to see Washington fall as many spots as they did, but it's unfortunately understandable with how the roster's looking at this point. What did you see?
Yeah, I mean, not to play sports radio with you too much, Ty, but and also to inject a little bit of the personal bias, I can admit that. I don't know that it's New York's title to lose this year, although that is what definitely the majority of coaches chimed in with. By the way, we had 26 coaches fill out the form, so thank you to those coaches and everyone that worked on it. What I expect is parity. I mean, at the top, you have basically this jumps out to me as four segments. You have the New York, Austin, Chicago, all came out in the contenders region. And it makes perfect sense. Those are the cities that won the three most recent quad ball seasons: 24 USQ, 23 MLQ, 23 USQ. New York, Austin, Chicago. I think it makes perfect sense, and I do think any one of those division winners has a chance to take home the title at the end of the season. As we move into the pretenders category, what jumped out here for me is how close San Antonio and Boston finished among coaches' opinions. It really kind of goes to show what I think a lot of people are believing, that fourth spot in that Final Four, those semifinals, really could be up for grabs out of those two cities. And as you know, Ty, having finished first in the division, having finished second in the division, your ability to try to win a championship after finishing first is much easier on championship weekend than having to go through the gauntlet of not being able to do so.
I mean, we haven't seen a team play into the play-in bracket win the whole thing yet. I mean, only a few teams have won the whole thing at this point, but
right.
It is that way because it seems nearly impossible with the amount of games you have to go through.
Yeah, it's the league is too physical. The league is too tough. Too many teams can beat you on any given day, which really brings us to the next section. After the rest of the pretenders are the Wild West. The teams in this region, you look at the high and the low columns. That really shows which coaches. Some coaches had these teams. The highest Kansas City was ranked was third, actually ahead of Austin on that coach's ranking. And the lowest they were ranked was 11th. There's a lot of teams like that. Detroit between 6th and 10th. New Orleans between 7th and 15th. I think the vibe for these teams is we don't know. And this could be anybody's game here. And I guess my hottest take from this situation is, despite my East bias, I actually think Charlotte and Washington might be a little bit too high nationally. I think the East is due for a down year, while Washington is kind of rebuilding. I didn't see Charlotte add a lot of pieces. Ottawa, I'm not sure that we're expecting a ton more out of them this year. And in the meantime, you end up with the South is still going to be good. The South is still going to be tough, and the North is on an upswing. So I think it's a lot more likely that the third and fourth best teams from the North and the South are better than both the third and fourth best teams from the East. So that's kind of my take from this Wild West region here in the middle.
Well, I mean, I don't have much to add off of that. We move on to our next section, which is the games coming up this weekend, which we have three big series to start off the season. We have Chicago and Detroit, we have New York and Washington, and we have Austin and League City. Teddy, you said you liked parity, but I think we could not be seeing much parity this weekend to start us off this year.
Yeah, as much as anybody can beat anybody. We always say that, but we've both been on dominant teams in the past. And when you're on a dominant team, even though it's the first week, you don't play with your food. You're not supposed to play with your food. And I don't expect New York to be playing with Washington. You said this is their season to lose. I don't know about that, like their championship to lose. I don't know about that, but this is a series where if they don't sweep it, I would be pretty shocked. The things in Washington's favor, and I can touch on you as you have the better perspective on that franchise. But the things in Washington's favor, familiarity. Teams have played each other a lot. Anytime you have familiarity, you get more likely a closer game. Physicality, and I think, as you know, sometimes that first game of the day, first game of the season, you can make mental mistakes, especially if you're overlooking an opponent. So it really is going to come down to, is New York mentally tough enough, mentally focused enough? Did they put in the work in the preseason to make sure that they're going to come out ready to control dodgeballs, get stops, control the pace? And in my opinion, I think they're going to run Washington off the field.
I can't really disagree with you much there, as much as it pains me to say it. When things are even going well in Washington, I think we had a combined record of 1-8 against them the last 3 years. And those are some painful series. Always stinks to have to play them first series of our year, Washington's year, excuse me. But I mean, they must have a friend in the schedule making department, because that opening series has never been kind to Washington the last few years. Let's move on. Go ahead.
It's happened a lot recently. That was all I had to say on that.
Oh, interesting. Let's move on to the Detroit-Chicago series. Now, everyone's really excited about the champion Ryan returning to Detroit, and as well as Leo, another champion, returning after a few years hiatus to Detroit as well. But let's think about how this game may not be that close, but I think I'm leaning more towards, if we're going to see an upset at all, it's going to actually be game one against Chicago in favor of Detroit. I think that's their best and only opportunity. However, I mean, Chicago's a powerhouse at this point. I think I was definitely one of the biggest haters of the North Division a few years back. And the last few years, they've done nothing but prove me wrong. So, I'm going to definitely side with Chicago on this one. But I think Detroit definitely can give them issues. But let's remember, Chicago is losing their MVP, but they still have plenty of MVP caliber players ready to step up and fill that hole. I mean, America's favorite chef and least favorite quadball player, Tad, is going to be definitely pushing for some good stats this year and make a good impact. Maybe get on another reality show. Who knows?
Yeah, I'd say I expected the same. Like, I still have a sweep for Chicago here, but I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk. I think for Detroit to win this game, they need to dominate the beating game. I don't think parity is going to be good enough. They have a chance with the roster that Chicago's sending. I believe Matt Brown's not going to be there. But I think they need to dominate the beater game, because Chicago is just so on their P's and Q's. Their timing has been perfect recently. Their integration on offense between their beaters and chasers is so good. You could put anybody out there. If you are on time and you execute, you will be able to score goals, and that, I think, is gonna come back to bite it. Detroit's best chance: be physical, dominate the beating game, pull a couple flags, which you can, but I don't think so. So prove me wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you there. And we're kind of out of time for our last series. Sorry, Austin and League City, but yeah, I'm not seeing too much of a fight from League City. But hey, prove me wrong, guys. Would love to see something different. Jackson Johnson is chop liver, so anytime he can get served a loss, which is very few and far in between, I will take it.
Yeah, I got listen, I have a lot of love for the Houston area. I got a lot of friends and former teammates on League City. But hey, this is a show where we don't hold anything back. I got 5 letters for that series, SWEEP. That's 3-0. I expect it to be physical. I expect them to play close, and I don't expect it to matter. All right, moving on, Ty. We're wrapping up. We got our last segment of these short few minutes, over under. I'm gonna give you a prop. You tell me whether you got it over or under. I'll go the same. We got 5 to go. All the players or teams are active this weekend. Let's start it off. Ali Manzella, season goals. The line is at 22.5 as set by the stats department over here at Tea Time, aka me in between meetings at work. What do you got?
Well, I can't do numbers, Teddy, so I appreciate you do that. And I was gonna say easy, no question, over, but there's a familiar name coming back into the Chicago area this season, and I wonder if both amazing players, Ali Manzella and Kennedy Murphy, but maybe Ali doesn't have as many goals as she did last year, just because she doesn't need to be out on the field nearly as much. But I mean, we are in a new rule league, so I mean, I'm gonna say Ali's probably going over.
You got over. I got over as well. I like the too many mouths to feed argument so that we could pretend like we disagree. But last season, according to MLQ Stats, which is a great place to go, very well put together. Shout out to the volunteers who do that. She had 19 goals in 8 regular season games last year before championships. She was a big scorer at championships. I'm smashing the over on that. All right, here's a fun one. Detroit team flag catches. 4.5. What do you got?
Well, I got Leo getting 7 alone this year, so I'm gonna go over on Detroit catches.
Ty is way over. I got the under, and here's why. I don't sports bet, but if I did, I'd hate betting the under. But here's why I got the under. The median flag catches last year for teams was 5. Leo Fried, is a great seeker. I think they have really good beating game, which, as you know, is the main way you catch. Seekers get credit, but the beaters do all the work. I'm not sure that the game situations for Detroit this year are going to warrant their best seeker, Leo Fried, being in the seeking game. So that's why for me, I got them at 4, which would be under the 4.5. All right, next one. You got all right. We're on to the next one. Adrian Koreski plus minus at 14.5. As a non-numbers guy, this one might be hard for you to visualize, but what you got?
Well, I got Adrian. I'm the biggest fan of Adrian, so I'm going over. That is, I think, the best thing the beating game in Washington has right now, and I'm really excited to see other players step up. But I think it's going to start and end with Adrian.
I'm absolutely with you. That's why I wanted to focus on Adrian, the pride of Brandeis. Fantastic player. Really, I expect to step into their own even more this year, take an even bigger step leading that beater core. And yet, I have the under, and it's your fault. Washington's Chasers last year, absolutely, and the last few years, have done an amazing job.
I was doing nothing for them. They got
the whole core.
No.
The whole core scored a ton of goals. And I think with the departure of a lot of veterans from the chasing core, I think they got a tough division to play, a tough schedule to play. I don't think it means Adrian doesn't play well, but I do have the under because I see the Washington offense scoring fewer goals this year. All right, I got 2 more left for you. Hayden Boys.
You upset Brian.
I know. Hey, Brian, go off. Brian's about to have a 40
Brian's
goal
gonna have something to say about that.
Let's go, sure. Brian. My guy. All right. I got Hayden Boys goals plus assists at 55.5. You got the over/under for the star in League City.
I mean, who else is gonna do anything on League City? I don't mean that in any offensive way to my League City friends, many of which I don't have. I really only know Hayden well. So again, nothing personal to my League City friends, but Hayden, I think is absolutely phenomenal. One of the brightest young stars in the entire league, both USQ, MLQ, IQA, when was on the DA as well. Might be getting a call up soon, but I don't know. But yeah, I was thinking. Anyway, just completely obsessed with Hayden. Easy over.
Hayden's had the juice since he was a teenager. I will never forget the first time I saw him play. And yeah, the offense, the whole team is going to go through him. I expect the turnovers to be up, but we don't like going over under on turnovers. That's no fun. I think the goals and assists will be up. I got the over as well. Last one. This one's straightforward. New York plus Austin combined win total for the season, 23.5. Do they both go undefeated? Yes or no?
Man, I'm such a boring over machine right now. But yeah, I'm going to hit the over on this one as well because, again, I said it earlier. I think it's New York's to lose this year. Austin is Austin, and they're going to do Austin things, and that's just run through the league. I mean, I know that the great real estate crisis in San Antonio is over now, so we don't have as many people in Austin that we did last year, but it's still the big names. It's still people that I don't want to see on the other end, but I'd like to see them off the pitch because they're all great people. So, you know, it's going to be 2-24. It's going to be 2-12.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. New York has all the buzz, and Austin is the defending champs. And honestly, when you're a team full of winners and you have a championship pedigree, you really don't care what anyone else thinks because you're that sure of yourself. And also, we talk about people departing as if like the Fab Five or whoever didn't just all hang up the cleats all at the same time. You know, the GOAT himself, though he would never claim it. It doesn't matter. They're not going to replace the production of those people that left, but what they are replacing are people that know how to overcome adversity, people that will not flinch when they're staring down the barrel of a tight game. The best beating crew, or one of the best beating crews in the country. And a bunch of dogs. That's it. When the going gets tough, you can lean on your dogs, and they got a whole pound down there. A team I hate to play. So yeah, how could you bet against them? New York, just copy paste what I just said, basically. Except they're not losing anybody. They're adding Josh Johnson. So there you go. We're probably over.
John Jackson's getting help from Joshua Johnson to maybe play against Jackson Johnson in the finals. Could be wild.
How about that? We got all 6 J's, and we're somewhere near 10 minutes. We don't have the clock right now, but it'll be added.
Terrible job, Teddy. The post-production crew is going to be so mad at us with how.
Yes, slow down the count. Do something. We probably went over, but hey, that's for you, the audience, to just let us know. Absolutely rip us. We ripped plenty of you. Leave a hurtful comment that I have to go tell my wife about later this week, please. Anything else, Ty?
I mean, I think that's all we got for today. Remember, folks, whenever you say crazy take you heard from us, just remember to tell people Tyler and Teddy said so. So thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.